Welcome back to this episode of Smash Engineering. Today we're going to be working on my bicycle. I had a little bike trip. We went out kind of off-roading, and out of nowhere my now this is a Presta valve, my inner tube I think blew out. So we're going to be showing you how to change an inner tube on a Presta style rim. There's two differences. There's a Schrader style, which if I remember, I'll put a picture here. There's a Schrader style and there's a Presta style. And the Presta, you got to make sure you get the right one. I went with this slime, not endorsed at all. It was just what they had available. But I went with this slime filled one. Hopefully that prevents future leakage. But you got to get one that says Presta on it. And that's this type of valve here. So it's a little different than how you change a Schrader one, but we're going to show you how to do it.
Smash Engineering.
Alright, so first things first, I'm going to do it on a table. You could do this in the grass, whatever. I'm going to take the bike, I'm going to set it on my table. So that I can work on it and show you easier. So the first thing you're going to need to do is disconnect your brake system. Most of the time, you don't have to do anything special. You can just pop this out, and that keeps your adjustment where it needs to be. Now that's freed up. Then if you have, certain bikes there'll be a nut here. This has a quick release. So you just pull out on the quick release. I haven't done this in a long time, so it's probably really tight. But anyway, you pull out on that quick release, and then now this side's loose. So the other thing we're going to need to do is loosen it up on this side. There's like a little spring and a nut. Okay, now if you take that, you can take that all the way off and this will actually slide right out. I'm not going to do that because I just need it loose enough to pull the tire out. So the next thing I'm going to do is disconnect the chain, which is really greasy, so I'm going to grab some gloves. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this adjuster all the way this direction. All the way down towards the bottom there. All right, so now if I pull up and out, you'll see, we come over this way, you'll see that the chain, where the chain needs to be. So you'll keep note of that. When you go to put the tire back on, you'll need to know how this goes, because once I pull this off, you'll see that it might look a little complicated. You won't quite remember where exactly does this go in the system. It goes right in here when you reinstall, and that pulls this up into place. So it's good to keep note of that. All right, now you got the tire loose. Remember which side your sprockets are on. Now what we're going to do, we're going to open the new one. We're going to compare just to make sure, because hey, who knows if they've come up with new Presta to secure your garbage so it doesn't blow on our beautiful earth. We're going to make sure that we got the same style Presta, and we do. So if you look at that, this here might be a little longer. It's just what they had. They have different length ones. It doesn't bug me if that's a little too long. It's whatever. So we'll put that back on, and we're going to unthread this piece here. This is what holds your Presta valve in place, so that way when you go to fill it, it's not popping in like this. So that's what that's for. It secures it. So now that that's out, we'll start on the farther side away and just start working the rim, or the tire off the rim, like this. And I'm trying to show you how you really don't need tools to do this. You could, and I will start carrying one of these on my bike. I'm gonna get a bag for my bike, and I'm actually gonna carry a spare inner tube. That way this could be done on the side of a trail or whatever. So then you pull that out of the way like that, and then your old one comes right out. Now I'm interested to see where exactly this one popped at. So I don't see. Huh. Sometimes these valves can go bad. There's a seal on this that can go bad, and that's what I was assuming was bad with it. But we'll air that up later and see where the leak's at. Anyway, so got that out of the way. You can compare it to your new one before you go doing all the work. It'll get hooked on everything. Before you can start going doing the work, you can compare it. See what I mean? Mine's a little bit longer. Oh well, not a big deal. They recommend when you're doing these to fill these with air just a little bit, so that way you can get it in there and it's not twisted. So if you put it in like this, ooh, put things in your pocket if you need them. All right, so this is really stuck together. So when you put it in, if you were to put it in like this, there's no guarantee as you're stuffing it in there that this doesn't happen, and you'll end up stuffing it in there with a fold in it. And although it may inflate and feel okay, that spot will get hot while you're riding and it's going to cause a failure. So I'm going to go ahead, another cool trick with these, if you don't, let's take this off real quick. If you don't want to have to carry around a Presta style inflator, they make an adapter, and what this does is it adapts. So you got to loosen this out, and this adapts the Presta style to be a Schrader style. So now you can fill that like normal with a normal air compressor, and it's not a big deal. Okay, now with some air in that, I'm going to take, this has to come off. This cannot go on while you're putting it through the rim. So I'm going to take that off. We'll lock down the Schrader style. So I like to start right here, and the first thing I do is get it through, because this is the most crucial part you don't want to damage. I get that through, okay? And then there's a little nut here. I don't tighten this down just yet. Put this on, get it like halfway, like that. And then I go around and pull out on the tube. And you can set the new tube right in place. And I'm making sure that it's not getting twisted. I can now visually inspect it. Everything looks good, right? So now I start on the opposite side of the Schrader, or I'm sorry, the Presta, and I start tucking this, right? And you can use soap if you want, if you feel you need to. There's plastic tools you can use. I've never needed them. I always just do it like that. All right, so now that we have that in there, I like to do like a little wiggle here with it. That makes sure that it's not pinched anywhere. I can feel all the way around this. Make sure it's not doubled up, pinched. Now the reason I added some air to it is to keep that from happening, but if you didn't have air in there, it can easily fold over itself inside of here and you would never know. And it may not end up being an issue, but we do a lot of long distance riding. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my adapter back on this here. And we're gonna fill it only partially. We're not gonna fill it all the way all at once. Let me go get my air compressor. All right, so if you look here on your tire somewhere, you'll have, I don't know how well the camera's gonna pick it up, but you'll have PSI recommendations here. So you see off-road, it wants you to do 35 to 55. On-road is 65. I do mostly off-road, but I'm gonna put mine at the high end, so it's 55. So it's closer to the on-road because I do both. So, but first I'm gonna split that in half, and I'm gonna go to 25 or so, and I'm going to inflate it off of that first, so it's going to be about half the PSI that it requires. Oh, other thing, when you install one of these, you have to unscrew the valve. It will not work. So when the air tries to push in, it can push in. If you have the valve locked, like I just did, you're not gonna be able to inflate it. And you'll get an error on your air compressor. All right, here we go. And while it's inflating, I'm squeezing it. I'm making sure that everything's seating like it's supposed to. Everything's fitting into place like it should. I'm making sure that nothing feels ripply or out of place. Making sure that this isn't turned sideways. If your valve is coming out at an angle, you need to adjust that. And notice I haven't locked this down yet. This is still kind of free floating in there. So I can tell where exactly it needs to be. Not putting any undue tension on that. All right, I'm at about 21. I'm gonna go ahead and feel it. Everything feeling good. Everything's feeling pretty good. I do think I damaged the tire when the tire popped. It rode on the rim a little bit, which caused a little bit of damage to the actual outer tire. So I'm gonna be replacing this soon. So hopefully we'll make a video on that and you guys can see out of that. All right, we're at 25. I'm gonna pop that off. I'm gonna inspect it. All right, we're not at super high pressure yet, but I'm gonna inspect it. See how it feels, see if anything's popping out of place. Sometimes if you don't get the bead in right, this will be popped over the edge of this, and that's not good, that's a problem. So you just wanna check it, you wanna flip it over, check this side. Everything looks good, nothing's too tucked, nothing's untucked. Everything's good to go. Okay. At this point, I'm going to turn off my air compressor because this is perfectly amount of air to go ahead and get it all reinstalled. We're going to lock down, now that we see that this is sitting straight, it's not got tension on it either which way, we're going to lock this down. And then also, we won't do it right now, but at the end of this, I'll show you, I'll take and lock this down as well, because if this gets bumped, it lets air out. So we'll lock that down, and I'll keep this on there though, because it gives me the opportunity to fill my bike tire off of any type of air compressor, even if they don't have a Presta style. So we're gonna go ahead and pull the bike over here. Now, as I mentioned before, we have to be conscious of where the chain fits into the equation, right? So we're gonna get it into the brake system here, right there, and then we're gonna get it, oh, I went above. I need to go above here. It's gonna fight me. Gotta get it back out of the brake. Okay, so we're gonna come above here. And remember, we were needing to be on the bottom side of this, right? So we're going to push it down in, hook it into the brakes. Now you can see that chain is pretty much where it needs to be, right? It's gonna self-correct here. There it goes, it popped into place. And then it's a simple matter of tightening this down, making sure that everything is centered, making sure it's all good. So now what you do is you tighten this, the black screw side, bolt side, whatever you wanna call it, the nut, and you get it to where it's just hard to put this down. So that's not quite tight enough yet. You want to be able to take this off on the side of the road. So you don't want it super tight. But right about there is good, right? So now I can check everything. Everything looks good, right? And a simple way to check too, if you see the coloring on your tire or anything wobbling like crazy, or if you're looking at the profile of it and you see a bulge, you'll know that the outer tire is actually damaged. So I assume what happened, the area we were riding in had a brush fire. So a lot of the logs had little, where there would have been a stick coming off, had little burnt nubs, and they were about the size of a nail. And so my fear was that I had run over those and it punctured through. Now, your tire can survive something like that. The inner tube usually does not. Because the inner tube holds the air, the tire just holds the structure. So this piece is what holds your air inside. The outer rubber part of your tire is the structure of it. It's what holds the shape of it. Because if you were to just inflate this, and maybe we'll blow this up on the video. We should do that. Because I got this wireless one. We can just set it at like 80 PSI and walk away. We got a field here we can do it in. There's some bonus content coming your way. If you've never seen one of these explode, you're about to. But anyway, you'll see what these look like when they blow up without being inside of a tire. But anyway, so we got that all hooked up. Big important part. Let's hook our brake back up. So the brake hooks up real easy on this. It's got a little slot here. Just go past it, and then I'm on the wrong side, but I think we'll still get it. Now let's go to the other side so you guys can see it too. So you got a little slot here, this piece here. So you pull back that. This goes just past it. Like that, and then it slots into place, right? And then you make sure your cover's on there. Oh, and I do want to mention, this was a small mercy or blessing, whatever you like to call it, that this happened. We were only about 7 miles away from the house when this happened, and we're getting ready to go on a camping trip here soon, and we're going to be riding a lot. So I'm probably going to try to change the rubber on my tires soon, and I might change a few on my family members, and if we do, we'll make a video for you. But yeah, so the brakes back hooked up. We got our tire in there. We got our chain where it needs to be. We've inspected everything. Now we're going to go ahead and put our 55 PSI in it. So I'm going to set my PSI. I believe it said 55, right? Always double check. I think it said 55. Yeah, so 55 for on-road. So I'm going to go 60. I do a mix of the both, so we'll go right in between the two. And then we'll make sure our Presta valve is unthreaded there. Good way to tell is when you push this down. If you hear air leaking, you're good. We're going to air it up. Hopefully, nothing crazy happens. I mean, hopefully for me. I'm sure you'd love to see something crazy happen. But hopefully nothing crazy happens. We're going to do crazy in a little bit. Didn't I set it to? Oh, I set it to 60. Oh, I set it to 55. All right. Cool thing about these is they stop right at where you set them at. So we'll take that off. And then, like I said, what I like to do on these, and now you'll also see, now that this is inflated, even though I tightened this, you'll see that this is actually loose again. So because it pushed itself into place, now we can actually give it a good, nice, tight. And you really should take some needle nose and do this, but I'm doing this as if we didn't have any tools. Because if you've noticed, other than the air compressor, which you can have a frame air compressor, I don't have any tools with me. So we're gonna go ahead and lock down our Presta valve. We do that by simply tightening that inner nut or whatever you wanna call it. And then I just go ahead and reinstall this, because wherever I go, I can either fill off of a Schrader style or I can fill off of a Presta style. So I have both options. And honestly, this little nut here coming loose is not going to be an issue. It will cause a little bit of a rattle potentially because of how long this is, but that's not going to cause a big deal. And we're ready to ride. I'm going to go ahead and check my front pressure real quick, and I can show you how to do that. Another example. Actually, this one feels great. But so you take off your adjuster, loosen up your nut. So once you loosen it, it looks like that. Tighten this back down. The only thing that's bugging me now is the back one doesn't look like the front one. It's just OCD. So we'll check that front pressure. Where are we at? We're at... Oh, it needs some. 60. Again, I'm going to take this off, lock down my Presta valve, spin this little piece in until it bottoms out, lock it. What that does is it pulls, there's a little seal in there that's kind of pressure sealed. The air pressure pushes it up against the valve. But the difference is here, if I were to hit a bump, like if I'm off-roading and I slam down on something, this for a brief second can push down and let a little air out. And if you do 25, 30 miles of off-road biking and you're doing that constantly, you will lose 10, 15 pounds of pressure. So I like to lock them down, and then I just put my adapter right on top. And then I do put caps on these sometimes just to keep dirt out. I don't know where mine are at the moment, but the only thing that can happen is dirt can come out. You literally cannot let air out of it like this. So there's nothing, you can't put air in or let air out. So this thing's good to go. Let's go ahead and let's blow up that inner tube. All right, so that's gonna pretty much sum up this video. We fixed the problem, hopefully, and we're gonna go ahead and go on a bike ride. So thanks for watching. Remember, help your neighbor, and I hope you liked this episode. If you did, like a comment on the bottom, like the video, and we'll catch you on the next one. Have a great day. Oh, it's on the inside now. Interesting. It's gonna make a pinch point there, but oh well. We just want it to blow up. All right, take two. See what it does. Oh, that's the other issue I didn't think we'd have, is when this doesn't sense pressure, it shuts off. Oh, I hope we got that.
At what point did it blow?
That was absolutely crazy. I don't know. We're gonna have to go back and watch the footage. It may not have read anything. I don't know, but that was pretty loud.
That was, whoa.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Where'd the pieces go? Oh, look at that.
We gotta pick all this up.
It's like reinforced. Check that out.
Yeah, that's much more sturdy than I had given it credit for.
Yeah, it was crazy how you could see it starting to balloon up on this. I really hope the video caught it, but it was starting to balloon up on this side, and we knew it was ready, and then it popped and it echoed so loud. All right, that was cool.